who this is, here is Thunderdog eSports. And coming into the game here in the top left for Thunderdog eSports is TheDannySaur alongside of Cha0S. In the top left we have Team Gravity. We have Kreos. Kreos? One of them.
I mean, it's like Oreos.
Yes, but with Kreos. And by top left, by the way, I meant the top center because Polar Knight, I do this every time on this map. So Cha0S, try not to screw it up on the bottom player like I did. Go ahead.
And spawning in the southern portion here on Polar Knight Land Edition for Micro Maniacs is Grav.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that extra eye is just for funsies.
Yeah, you know, when in doubt, always the funsy bow.
Maybe it's like one of those, those wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube men. When you say it, you're supposed to go like, praise!
Yes, exactly.
I like how you knew I could actually hear you doing it even though the camera wasn't on. I'm really proud of your dedication there, Cha0S. Very proud.
That's how I roll, man. So, PvZ, Polar Knight. Personally, I think both players are kind of going with what I would typically do in either of their shoes. Going for that pool opener as opposed to going for a hatch first is probably a little bit more savvy on this map just because it's pretty close spawn positions. And yeah, so it should be interesting to see how it all levels out here once our naturals are going down.
Yeah, I really I'm just admiring also in this game hard overlay, you get this nice cool Team Gravity logo, the big one underneath the drones there. And yeah, I mean it's gonna be PvZ in the opening. Cha0S, I don't think we're gonna see anything too miraculous. It's gonna be pretty regular, I would say.
Pretty stock. I mean, pretty much until, well, besides the probe poking at the natural, I'd say pretty much until like the 7-ish minute mark. We probably won't see anything too different from what we normally see. Probably going to see an expansion go down, probably going to see a mothership core come out, probably going to see a gateway, maybe a couple gateways go up in the front. Meanwhile, Kreos is just going to happily drone and then maybe take a third and then probably gets out some roaches, maybe.
The usual.
Flare. Yeah, you know, just kind of the normal stuff.
That was a nice little roadmap you gave there. So, Cha0S, since we have some downtime, I will continue observing and seeing if anything is out of the ordinary. But have you been playing any cool games recently? There hasn't been any major titles that have came out, I feel like. But have you played anything? It's a lot of fun recently.
I don't know. I'm still kind of hooked this game and League of Legends. I do play both. The new little Hexakill map format is kind of interesting. Rather than having a 5v5 on Summoner's Rift, you have a 6v6, which can lead to some little predicaments, as I would say.
Well, it looks like we're having a little bit of lag there. No big deal.
Hard lag, according to praiise.
Yes.
Kreos.
Game paused.
Yeah, and there was some serious slowdown there. Not quite sure what it was.
I don't know. I'm okay on my end now.
Well, it looks like I think are going to go anyway, and hopefully it is all good. Everything looks good on my end. I don't know if they can read our chat. I always forget if we are observers or referees.
I do too. Okay, it appears to be okay. Stable. That's good.
Yes, stable is fantastic. And it looks like these Zerglings might sneak in here and get some bonus scouting information, it appears.
Bonus scouting. A great way of putting it.
Well, I was going to say, to continue my conversation earlier, I've actually been playing a lot of Smite, which has been pretty cool, and also Rocksmith. I have been learning to play the guitar, Cha0S.
Ooh, Rocksmith. Is that the one that actually, uses the real guitar?
Oh, yeah, and I have to say, it's been pretty good thus far. Ooh, good micro there on that sentry. I didn't think he was going to get that Zergling. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's actually, it's been doing a very nice job. I'd say I have roughly about, I think, 20 hours logged now. I can play some very basic songs here and there. You know, things like Blitzkrieg Bop or those classic punk songs that only use 3 chords. But after never having touched a guitar before, I think, you know, after about 15 hours, I feel pretty good about it.
Huh, interesting. Now, the one thing that I know my little brother was trying to learn guitar, and he was looking at that game. The one thing that I saw on reviews was like the lag was pretty bad. What are your thoughts on that?
It hasn't been too bad for me. It all depends. You have to get a non-USB headset is very key. I have a Logitech wireless one, the G930, and I can't use it for the game because the USB adds extra. Ooh, and a lot of links coming in here. Actually, we're going to have some action here. Hopefully he doesn't lose too many sentries or anything. I'm surprised he hasn't actually just recalled out. And it looks like he will right there.
Yeah. So he pretty much just lost a force field in a stalker with that. Granted, there's a lot of units out here for Kreos. I mean, he could potentially apply some pressure and maybe get something done.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Depends on how many more units coming out. That robotics facility not quite done yet. And Immortal probably may come out mid-fight if he really boosts it twice. And it looks like a Warp Prism is going to be his choice. So we'll have to see here. It'll be a little bit tough, but
it's a really interesting choice because you know, he saw the roaches out, so I would think that he'd be like, okay, gotta get some Immortal action going here, but it does look like the roaches are going to come in here and pretty much just get denied completely.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to throw up a second cannon just for safety, so definitely feeling the pressure, but one thing that Kreos knows right now is you're not coming out of your base to get a third anytime soon because you threw up that extra cannon, which means you are feeling super defensive and are not planning to take a third anytime soon.
I find it really interesting that the roadmap that I presented at like the beginning of this is pretty much exactly what happened. Like third base went down, roaches came out, and he just went to lair. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that OP chaos knowledge. If only he's got GM knowledge, you guys, I swear.
Actually, no. I don't have GM knowledge, but I have played a GM. That's all that matters.
Oh, yes. Chaos had the courtesy of knowing what it's like to get absolutely slaughtered in a game this week.
Yeah. Nothing like having a random top 100 GM Korean, you know, just say, hey, we should play.
I think it would be really fun to embarrass you, is basically
yeah,
I think on that way.
It was quite comical. It was like he gave me that blissful feeling of, hey, I just took out your third base, and then just completely slaughtered me. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it sounded like you had a pretty good time. You were laughing about it afterwards. So Chaos, always a good time. And getting back to actually game things here, since we should probably talk about that, you know, at least a little bit.
Like this random zealot drop going on in the main of, you know, Kreos.
Yeah, I mean, nice little thing. I don't know how much it exactly will get done. I like the force field on the ramp, but sadly there's not. Ooh, I don't think he's going to get that layer.
Yeah, now, unfortunately, the force field actually didn't go down in the right spot. So, some decent force fields. Roaches still were able to get in here, though, so it's going to be really hard for this to actually get anything done.
I feel like this is something that praiise kind of needed. I think he really needed that to work at least somewhat well, because I feel like he is pretty far behind here. I'm not quite sure. It's one of those games where I'm not sure exactly how he got really behind, but he just feels like he has been the whole time, if I am feeling this out correctly, Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, he spent a lot of money on this tech and really doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. You know, with not doing the proper force field on the ramp and all of the units getting in and pretty much denying that entire attack, really nothing happened. It does look like he is going to finally hit that force field and able to swarp in a handful of units and might start to get that lair. We'll have to see whether or not he can actually get it done.
Right, he can force field that ramp all day, so it looks like this will work. I don't see a way that Kreos can actually not let this happen.
Yeah, it basically boils it down to how quickly these roaches that are popping up here actually, and the lair does go down. So overall, a nice little counterattack there.
And he certainly sees the tech as well. I don't think he'll be able to get anything else done. I was wondering if he'd go after the infestation pit, but he does see the swarm host go down, so he should know exactly what's coming at him. The problem is he still does not have that third base, and the minerals are starting to thin out just a little bit, about 400 left on each of those patches, and we'll really have to see.
Yeah, and it really boils down to how many swarm hosts can actually get out on the field and, like, huddled up in the right position. Because, I mean, you know, praise's force really is nothing to be too terribly scared about. I think that he really has going for him is, you know, the Colossus, which will definitely be helpful against the Locust, but, you know, one Colossus alone is not going to be enough.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get up to, you know, that, like, magical 4-5 number that, you know, you can start really roasting down those Locusts, but we'll have to see here as he continues to kind of apply pressure. And it looks like there's going to be a flank coming. This could be really devastating for him.
Yeah, Roaches are definitely coming in here doing a lot of damage. The Locust behind her, cleaning up a lot of the Zealots. And it does look like Kreos isn't going to have quite enough just yet, but that was definitely a nice little counterattack. Pretty much reduced all of the tankiness that army had with taking out all those Zealots.
Yeah, at least he got out of there with all the Colossi. And it seems like we kind of saw this, I think, 2 weeks ago when we last saw this. Forget who the Protoss player was, but he's almost opting by this just barely mentality, where he doesn't have enough to kill you or really, I would say, do well, but he always has just enough to keep the important units alive and, you know, just kind of continue the game. I believe that was the game that eventually went to Tempest v Swarm Host, I believe.
Oh yeah, I do remember that game. Now, the question that I have is, like, he's still only on 2 base. I don't know how he's planning on keeping up with the economy that Kreos has. You know, Kreos is you know, pretty much maxed out at this point.
Yeah, you see the gas is where he's really falling behind. As you see in the bottom right here, he's only behind by about 200 minerals per minute, which isn't that big of a deal as a Protoss player, but the gas, he's, you know, half. That is a problem, and it looks like we're going to have a Spire switch here, which could be really bad. It all depends, because these swarm hosts are just so powerful that they're on creep, and they're at kind of like this point where you can always hold his roaches really close to him.
Yeah, I think at this point, Praise is just going to take these roaches in and basically sacrifice them, force some type of trade, and then just do that immediate tech switch over to, well, he's getting Corruptors. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it looks like I think his mentality is if I take out the Colossi, I win, which isn't too bad. Oh, and Blink Colossi able to take out some Locusts there. Or, sorry, Storm Host, where as the Locusts pop out. Oh, it looks like a big flank with these roaches. It gets one Colossi. Can he get the second? Oh, a good blink in front to try to stop it, but not enough. Now reduced down to one Colossi, and that's something that's really going to hurt. That 2-base economy is just not quite going to be enough. And it looks like he is poking at the front door as well.
Yeah, the roaches are going to take out the forge, and as far as upgrades are concerned, he's only on +2, +1, so he's not doing very good on, well, I guess compared to his opponent, he's doing better. I mean, he's only got +1 missile attack, so I guess he's not too far behind as far as upgrades are concerned. But I'd say, you know, Kreos has definitely put himself into a really good position to, you know, kind of survive the game.
Yeah, we'll see. Praiise here has a 7 Zealot run by going into the main. It looks like they're going to try to focus down the infestation pit. Oh, but all those Zealots are getting clogged up. Only one of them is really attacking it. And it is going down ever so slowly. But those Zealots not quite doing the damage that they could, and he will not get it. A little bit of a misstep there, and it looks like Kreos with his one Mutalisk, and there are some more Mutalisks in the back. Look like he's going to do some harassment. I mean, there's a Dark Shrine up for Praiise, but I think that's pretty much all he's got.
Yeah, he's got DTs attacking the natural, and the natural's going to go down. So that is the lair. So we have another lair started up for Kreos here. Finish up here in about 70 seconds-ish. But the Mutas are coming in here doing a fair amount of damage. I mean, the entire main is completely more or less done with, and we have a big attack coming here on the third at Kreos. So we'll have to see whether or not Kreos can actually hold on to this.
Ooh, and with a little bit of an errant Colossi there, I think that's going to be it. Yes, and praiise GG taps out. So, Gravity's Kreos able to take it to 2-1.